here's what I want to do. We're going to look at, we're going to explore directly three of the major diaphragms in our movement together. And the three that we're going to explore together are the pelvic diaphragm, the thoracic diaphragm, and what we call the shoulder diaphragm, which is up here. And it's sometimes, often, referred to as the thoracic inlet. And if you will touch with me now, it's a deep weave, strong and flexible, supple, beautiful fascial weave that attaches from the bones here at the tops of the shoulders all the way around to the corners. You're seeing I'm outlining the soft tissue area here. It's all soft tissue, right? So we've got bone, we come around, we've got this flat platform there of the scapula, and then we come around the back and we have all these big muscles that so often get tight, right? And then we end up doing a lot of things to, and they, oh, sorry, and it attaches right along the top edge there of the scapula, and of course the ribs, primarily the ribs. It's primarily the ribs all the way around here, but the ribs are narrower at the top. And this diaphragm is this whole area that is so commonly tense, and the reasons that it's so commonly tense, of course, stress and so on and so forth. And yet there's a way that we lose our natural alignment, let's call it relationality. We lose our natural relationality through our cores and through these diaphragms that are all the way up the core and provide the resilience of mobility and support of the entire core. All of the diaphragms, all of them are continuous with one another all the way up. So they're not even separate structures. These have fascial connections that are primarily along the back abdominal wall, and then again along the back portion of the thorax, thoracic spine, the heart, of course, and then up through the neck in the same way, and then right into the front of the skull. We've been looking at that. So the diaphragms themselves, just a little bit of an aside, are connected from the front of the foramen magnum all the way down the spine and to the coccyx, recognizing that this is actually something of a diagonal support that goes through our body. It's not exactly straight up and down. We have coccyx at the back, and we have the top a little bit at the front, right? So this makes it a little more of a spiral here, and a very mobile spiral at that. We're not just trying to stay right around my center. Which is a good thing. You don't want to try to do that because you'll waste all of your energy trying to find a center that doesn't move. So the first, of course, is the feet. We're going to kind of skip that. Arbitrary choice. The feet up through the inner legs and to the pelvic diaphragm. The pelvic diaphragm is something like this. So this would be pubic bone, pubic disc actually in the front. I think it's useful to do your hands something like I'm doing. So I'm stacking my back of hand over the underside palm, and they're both facing this way. So they're not facing this way. That would be confusing, at least to me. All right, so this is the pubis and the pubic disc at the front, so we would have space there. And this over here, the thumb and the small finger, where they stack, is what we would call where the buttock bones are, the ischial tuberosities. Yes. Okay. And then at the very back, where these mounds are touching one another there, if you look at the whole thing like this, you would have the coccyx. And this too is that same kind of fascial weave. All of these places have tremendous differentiation in them, but right now we're looking at the fascial weaves that we call diaphragms. Now, this diaphragm from the back connects all the way up the back of the lumbar spine and the sides of the back belly via fascia, but up the lumbar spine via, very specifically, a long ligament that is across the entire front of your spine, across the bodies of the vertebrae. So it's front of the vertebrae. So it's not back body. We don't feel this as back. We feel it as center. All right, up and into this thoracic. And then from the thoracic, the easiest thing to feel is right through the center where the heart is resting on the thoracic diaphragm. It's resting on the central tendon. And in resting on the central tendon, its wrappings, the pericardium, interdigitate and are continuous with, you can't separate them, the central tendon of the diaphragm, which is continuous with the stem of the diaphragm, which is continuous with the anterior longitudinal ligament to the coccyx, which is continuous with the pelvic diaphragm. So up here, we have the same continuity. So we've got the heart here in the center. I like this because you see what happens here? I make my hands like a little heart, and I position it, my heart's in there. I'm just going center. I'm not trying, don't go over to the left, you'll just confuse, because the energy of these diaphragms is staying more toward the center. So these are my diaphragms. My forearms are my diaphragm out there, right? And my hands and the ball of my hands down there is continuous with the central tendon of the diaphragm. And think I'm holding my heart in my hands, but this is the wrapping. And the wrapping of the heart comes up something like a bell. You see how it's in here a little bit. Your heart's sitting in there going, do, 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 do. And then this wrapping comes up and around it, holding it, containing it, all the way around it, all the way up, wrapping around its vessels, all the way up into the neck, where the fascial weaves become layered, layered, layered. There's so many of them in there. And those two are the continuity of the heart. So, like I always do in my own mind, what did I do? I skipped this. I skipped when I'm teaching you, even. I'm teaching you this. I skipped it. These are the ways that our minds work that fool us all the time, where we grip onto things we know and forget to ask the question, what do I not know? All right, so this diaphragm, I don't even know the exact connections, but it connects through the neck. I'll find out. I'll figure it out. It connects through the neck, and all of these fibers are in continuity with it. Of course, fascia is what contain fascia is the base of muscle. So all of these muscular fibers back here that get tight, we can get under them by going to the fascial weave. What else do we have to do? In this particular diaphragm, we're going to go to the organs. So the lungs, the heart, particularly this movement that we work with so often. Take a hold here just lightly and place your hands. So I actually took a thumb right under my armpit, just kind of stabilizes my hands there. But then my hands are going to be soft. So do this with me, please. I'm touching from the ball of my fingers upward. And first I touch skin. Go ahead. First feel for clothing. That's a certain kind of touch. You feel it. Now you want to know what's under the clothing. Go to the skin. What's the texture of your skin underneath your clothing? Okay, got that. You can even kind of move it, right? Very specifically the skin. You can move it on the muscles. All right. Now go under that. And when you go under that, touch in there's a little more strength to it into the muscle. You feel how firm those muscles are, right? Now, don't push down at all, but ever so slightly in and upward into and under the muscle, you'll find there's bone. And then under the bone, touching deep, 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 soft, letting your awareness follow in under your hands. As you go, there's something else. There are fascial wrappings, and there are organs. Now, listen. Now, as you touch in, feel for your touch coming in and slightly upward into the top lobe of your lung there, and ever so slightly deep, soft touch. Now listen to me. It's a deep, soft touch. I'm using this. I'm touching with inquiry into dark, rich, blood rich. Oh, organ. I got my lung in there. And then the in and up rolls, touches and rolls this top lobe of lung up the front, just a little under those ribs. And then it on its own, since it's going up the front, is going to have to just go down the back ever so slightly under the shoulder blades and the ribs. The touch is to the lung. The touch is not to the bones and the muscles. And the support is softer and deeper to me. See what you feel.